the Take a Long Time to Tank Engine and Friends series. Please subscribe and give it a thumbs up for more episodes. Thomas is a very cheeky engine on the island of Sodor. He's also a very useful engine on the island of Sodor. And he also has two coaches named Annie and Clarabelle. And he is also proud to work on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. And one day, Thomas was resting in a siding when Sir Topham Hatt came. Thomas, I need you to take a goods train from the quarry to the docks. Right away, sir, said Thomas, and he puffed away. On the way, Thomas was wondering about what his goods train was. I wonder what my goods train would be, said Thomas. Maybe it'll be like every other generic goods train in the Thomas series. And then when he saw his goods train, he was right. It was just like every other generic goods train in the original show. I knew it, but let's get to this thing. Thomas backed up and came back looking like this, and then he backed up, was coupled up, and then he puffed away. The goods train was heavier than what Thomas thought. This gave the trucks an idea. Hold back! Hold back! They yelled. Stop being silly. I have to get this train to the docks as soon as I can. This made the trucks cross. And then Thomas had made it all the way up to Gordon's Hill. Now's our chance, said the trucks. On! I can't stop! I can't stop! Ah! Yelled Thomas. The signal man was watching everything, and he had switched the points, and Thomas was pushed all the way from a sharp corner, and then he was pushed and turned all the way up to a hill, and he crashed straight through the buffers. Ah! Thomas was stuck. The trucks were hurt, but didn't care. They were just happy that they got back at Thomas. And then, while Sir Topham Hatt was at his office, he heard the call. He got a call. Oh yes. Send Percy right away. And Percy, coincidentally, was right with the breakdown train. I'm right away. And his driver told Percy about the news since Sir Topham had telephoned his driver. And Percy went straight to find Thomas. Those silly trucks done it again. I can't believe this, said Percy. And he just continued to find Thomas. Those silly trucks. And he was right where Thomas was at. Don't worry, Thomas. I've come to help, said Percy. Thank you, yelled Thomas. Please, take the trucks to a siding first. Of course I will, Thomas. I'll be right back. Percy first had put the breakdown train into a siding, and then he went right back for Thomas. I'm coming, Thomas. I'm gonna get the freight cars for you. Percy was hooked up to the freight cars and started pulling the freight cars. Ah, said Percy. Until Percy got a grip on the rails and started pulling the freight cars away. Percy had worked hard and put the trucks back into a siding. And then he went back for Thomas. I'm here, Thomas. I'm gonna get you back on the rails. Percy pushed Thomas. Percy pushed the breakdown train towards Thomas. And soon the breakdown crane was in position and went to work. And then it hauled Thomas up to safety. Yeah. Wow, that crane has great acrobatic skills, said Thomas. Yeah, said Percy. But still, you have to take your load to the docks, said Percy. And so Thomas had puffed back, and he was back, and he was coupled up again, and he reversed backwards. He was almost late, so he had to get to the docks as fast as he could. Have to get to the docks, said Thomas. Said Thomas. Almost there, said Thomas. He kept backing up until he was. And so he had made it to the docks. And he had made it to the docks. Thomas made it to the docks, and he was uncoupled from his load, and he puffed away back to the shed. When he got back to the shed, he saw that Percy was there. Wow, Percy, what a coincidence. You already made it to the sheds before me. Yeah, I was tired, so I decided to go back to the sheds. Well, that's great. And so the turntable was turning for Thomas. He puffed on, and And the turntable had spun. Thomas puffed in. And the door closed. And the two engines talked. And talked. And talked. Percy, thank you again for helping me back on the line today. You're a very useful and helpful engine. No problem, said Thomas. And just then, Sir Topham had came up to Thomas, you are indeed a really useful engine. And you are too, Percy. Thank you, said Thomas. Thank you, said Percy. It was a really good, happy day on the island of Sodor.